Hey guys, Kevin Shaw here, Editor-in-Chief of Mopar Connection Magazine. It is a brisk 38 degrees outside. It's just a little bit warmer in the garage. It's about 46 degrees, and thankfully I have a correction for that. I'm going to play a little bit of catch up. We're only about a week, actually we're about 8 days away from Christmas, so pretty much figuring this is going to be the last video of the year. So I want to thank all of you guys who have been following along this year. We really ramped up video production this year and last year. So I want to thank all you guys who hit the subscribe button, who've been following along with the Mopar Connection channel. I want to thank you guys, especially you guys who not only hit subscribe here at the YouTube channel, but also went over to www.moparconnectionmagazine.com, where you guys hit the subscribe button and signed up for the newsletter. Really want to thank you guys. So for you guys who've already done that, you are already getting the most out of Mopar Connection that you can. We produce articles every single day, Monday through Friday. We have a full team of writers, really great guys who've come from Chrysler Power, guys who came from Mopar Muscle, Mopar Action, even Collector's Guide. We've got a lot of guys who've been in this industry a long time, producing really great content, car features, tech articles, shop tours, all sorts of stuff. So if you are a Mopar fan, you're doing yourself a disservice by not going over to the magazine in between our videos. So definitely go over to the magazine, definitely go over and hit that subscribe button and get that newsletter. It's every Friday. All right, so let's play catch up on what's going on here in the garage. The last couple weeks, I've been kind of at the behest of everyone we're working with. Haven't been able to do any updates on the Hemi build. Machine Shop is trying to play catch up with all their paying customers. Can't really blame them. So what's happening is effectively I'm in a waiting pattern so that I can jump back in and start back up on the Hemi motor. Additionally, we are trying to wrap up the interior on Marsha, and that means radio. The biggest thing for us is getting this radio. Now, we're really excited because this came in from Antique Automobile Radio. This is effectively on the catalog listing an E-body radio. This radio, here's the factory radio beneath it. Let me get a good grip on it. Okay. So here is our factory AM/FM radio. This is Antique Automobile's radio. It is a full digital Bluetooth compatible modern radio. It's all digital, it's all modern guts. All right, that's why the dials aren't moving anything right now. You know, you're not getting, it's all electric, okay? This is not analog. We hooked up with Chris Wozniak, and he went and produced a new face that literally just screwed in. It's a customized face because it is an adaptation of the E-body and the C-body. Let me show you some drafts. Here is the original face from the Fury. You can see it's got that curve, but it lays the face down this way. Now, we couldn't just use this face because the radio itself already had the dial here and it had the switch. These are incorporated on the face from the factory. So we just printed a large window so that the buttons and the dial would be visible. All right, so here's the factory piece, and this is what it originally came with. This is what you would buy if you would buy an E-body kit. This is their E-body faceplate. Has a nice chrome finish to it, has a nice smooth surface. Not exactly perfect for factory, but that's okay. That's okay, it's really close. And it'll go into your E-body Challenger or Cuda. They have the same radio, and it will go in beautifully. We simply took a scan of this faceplate. We took a scan of the factory plate and fabricated it in between. We used just a paint pen for the trim, and I might touch it up one more time. It doesn't need a lot, but I like to put a second coat on it. And we're gonna mock this up, okay? But mocking it up does mean taking a little bit of our work, taking a little bit of our dashboard apart, and outside is just miserable. This means that I have to figure out a way to get work done without freezing and being in some relative comfort. So the plan, kind of what I'm thinking, is something I've never done before, something I promised I never would really do, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And that is, I'm gonna put the Charger outside, I'm gonna wrap her up, put her back where the Fury is, and I'm gonna bring the Fury in. It's gonna be a tight fit, she's a big girl, and I'm gonna have to back her in because I have these posts here. So I'm gonna try backing it in first, and we're gonna see how that fits. But the idea is to have the car inside with the top down so that Jim and I, and maybe if we can get Tinos back out, can get the dashboard dialed in and get it all together in the comfort of my garage. Now, I did say it's in the 40s. Well, just for the sake of comfort, I ran over to Northern Tool and got this heater, and it's a monster, okay? It requires 220, so I had opened up the box yesterday, take the cover off, wire in a new plug, and got this guy wired up last night, and it is pumping out some BTUs. It is really, really cranky. Believe it or not, this is a 7,500 watt, and it is really putting in the heat. So it takes, I'd say it takes about 10 minutes to raise the temperature in this garage, probably 10 to 15 degrees. So I'm gonna lose all this heat when I open up the garage doors and start moving cars around. All right, we got a plan. Let's get to it. Never put that big girl in the garage before. Took me a few tries to get her straight. I don't think you guys could blame me. That was a tight fit. Yeah, our alignment's a little sagged out. We got a lot of suspension work to do. It might be a little hard to see from this angle. Previous shots will show that we are definitely a little sagged out on the passenger side. So we're gonna ratchet up the torsion bar just a little bit. Take some of the pressure off the front with the floor jack and jack up just the passenger side to be equal with the driver's side. Let's take a measurement and see what we look like over here. Okay, here we are. Let's see what we get here. Here is our. All right, so we're almost. Let's see, dead center of the wheel. We're just a hair under 28 inches. So let's walk over to the other side and see how bad we are. I think it's going to be significant. Okay. Oh my. It's about 26 and a half. All right. Let's jack this up. We'll jack up the front of the car and take the tension off of the lower control arm. We'll see how that goes. In perfect C-body fashion, everything's bigger. So we're at the 15/16. We're just gonna do this manually. And when I bumped on the suspension, it was actually riding on the bump stop. So it certainly was not, it certainly did not have any travel. So now the trick, of course, is give her some wiggles to try to stabilize, and we will measure both sides. Of course, the car does not have a sway bar on yet. We do have a sway bar, I think. Let me show you the sway bar. I ordered this guy from Springfield. This is their Big Daddy 1 7/8 sway bar. They are very proud of their products, but because it's C-body, it's low volume. You can't really blame them. There's not a lot of guys building C-bodies with big fat sway bars, and they do make torsion bars, and they do make a lot of performance suspension parts. But if you thought you were paying Mopar tax before, you ain't seen nothing yet. All right, let's see how we did. Come on, Lady Luck. Get me in the ballpark, please. Hey, 28. That's almost exactly where I was. Well, hot dog. Okay, admittedly, the Fury is very crooked. But we can open up both doors. We can walk around the car. I do have the ground fan going. There's just, she is so rich that we're gonna have to do some fine tuning when the time comes. But for right now, we need to worry about getting that dashboard complete. That is priority number one, getting that radio in. And I'll probably have to take the seat out. We're gonna have to pull the seat just for access. And then radio, the last little bit of AC ducting. We do have one duct that needs to feed this vent right here. It's also our modified crotch vent, you know, the skirt vent. And then once take care of the AC venting, we can take care of the radio, get the radio mounted in, make sure it's happy. And then there's going to be a couple ground straps that just need to be installed. Everything for the dashboard is grounded through the steel frame of the dash, and then there's a pot metal or a stamped metal, like a galvanized. I can show you this. There's a galvanized frame in here that holds all the gauges, and they're all grounded to that, and that needs to be grounded to the firewall. It's not exactly the best. It's not my favorite. And we will be doing some extra ground straps, because if anything, if I learned anything when it comes to Mopar, you cannot overground a Mopar. Add as many grounds as you can. When you think you've got enough, add 2 more. So all my electrical issues, almost all of my issues that I've ever had with my cars has been a grounding issue, has been too much paint, the ground's not making good contact, there's bad continuity. It's a grounding issue. So again, when you think you've got it grounded, add 2 more. Make extra steps. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so I'm gonna start on the back seat, and then we will work on the AC duct. Ready? So I'm keeping those race seats. Can I dusty dough with you? Okay, big progress so far. Well, it might not look like big progress, but update. Got the right size ducting, gonna be doing the finalized ducting, and I'll get the camera underneath and show underneath the dash what it's gonna be looking like. There is some spaghetti going on wiring wise. We're not done with everything. It hasn't been loomed, it hasn't been kind of separated, but we're finalizing all the AC ducting. That's number 1. Number 2, Jim has been measuring out what we need to mount the radio into the dashboard. He had to make a couple holes into the bracket. Again, the bracket that comes on the radio is for an E body. It is not for a C body. So we had to make a couple new holes. Thankfully there's nothing behind it. There's no problem with it. We're just finding the right hardware to mount it into the dashboard, and we're gonna just kind of massage it in and see how it fits with the plate. So a little bit of an update. We'll get you in and we'll show you what we're doing so far. All right, so what we got is we have modified the skirt vent, or the crotch vent, whatever you want to call it, and put one of Vintage Air's adapter brackets onto this. We're going to do a little bit of an S-turn to that one right there, and then we've got this hose that goes to the bottom one. It's not the ideal placement. You would think it want to go one way or go the other way, but because of the door and how it distributes the air, we have to do it that way. So all of this spaghetti is for our AFR gauge. We will move this out of the way temporarily, and then we'll eventually loom it all up and get it all out of the way. It's just getting the last bit of AC ducting. I will be making a little bracket right here and just riveting these two together so that this guy stays tucked up and out of the way. Because we are modifying and inserting a radio that is not a factory radio, you just have to do a lot of trial fitment. We're opening up holes in the bracket for the radio. It's not Antique Automobile Radio's fault. It is not the factory's fault. We are simply hot rodding. So again, this is just what goes into making a custom car. And speaking of which, we've got our ducting all pretty much dialed in. I got to hook up one more duct, you'll see at the bottom. But we do have our modified crotch vent right here, which is good. And I have a bracket that I'm going to rivet into here, and that'll keep it in place. Then we put in the last duct, push that guy up, and we'll be set. This is for our AFR gauge, our digital AFR gauge. We're going to tuck that out of the way just for the time being. And then we will be able to have our plate once obviously the dashboard's all ready. And we're gonna hook up a couple extra ground wires just to from the dash to the firewall, because you can't have enough grounding. And then we should be good. All of the vents will be plumbed in, and that includes the side vent next to the instrument cluster, and we should be all set. All right, progress report. We got the faceplate in there. It's loose. It's not totally tightened down. There's screws on top that will suck it in. But it took just a little bit of trial fitting and maneuvering. Jim did fantastic. It was a little bit of custom tailoring a suit to get it to fit.
I've put in a few stereos. It's all about the sound, dude. It's all about sound.
Yeah. So we've got that happening. He's doing a security strap, tie-down strap.
Yeah, just whenever the dash goes in, you just put that to that. I guess that'll work. We'll just make sure it doesn't get in the way of anything else.
Okay, so per Antique Automobile's suggestion, we did get their dual voice coil speaker for the front. That is not what we have in the back, and because we wanted to actually sound decent, we went ahead and ordered a replacement speaker. It was about 110 bucks, which was not money I was expecting to spend today, but if it's going to be done and we're going to do it, we might as well do it right. So we'll have to take the back seat out. We will have to take this trim panel off and access the black plastic plate, take that off, and replace the speaker. Even though that speaker is new, it is simply a mono style speaker and not what we need, because we're not cutting holes into our door panels or kick panels or anything like that. We're just going to keep it pretty stock.
So it'll sound like there's 4 speakers in a car, but there's 2.
Good.
That's basically, that way you don't have to mount speakers all over the place.
All right, with the radio in, we are now just chasing some wiring, making sure that we have power going to the radio, making sure we have dashboard lights, just the basic electrical stuff that everybody hates. So we are just getting into the nitty-gritty. Of making sure that we can have ourselves a radio. We know what we found, what the problem was when it came to power getting to the dash lights, and that was our factory rheostat. You can look, it is more green than the Statue of Liberty. So we were not getting good continuity through that. We had 2 others. One of them was kind of boogered up, welded up, and the other one is frankly a Chinese repop. But we already tested it. We got continuity through it. We were able to light up everything. So we are currently swapping it out. C-body dashboards do not come out as nicely and as easily as we had hoped. So Jim has proven again to be our superhero here, and we were able to get the switch out. He was able to get the switch out and get the new one in, and now it's a game of blindly hunting to try to find the right hole to mount it in, and that is a chore. That is a true nightmare. So unfortunately no one likes working upside down and inverted and blind, but that is where we are currently. Got the lights off in the garage just so that we can demonstrate what we're working with. We wanted to make sure that our cluster lights are working, so we just took the drill battery and we're going to touch it off. Okay, you can see how they light up. You got that nice eerie greenish blue. For you guys who don't know, Plymouth did not have their gauges lit up they actually used projection lighting to shine onto the lights.
On this car, I know my 67 are lit.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay, because
that's something they were doing here.
Because I know on Mike's Hemi Cuda, we have the exact same thing. And I'm like, on a Hemi Cuda convertible, top of the line.
I'm not sure when they changed to this halo thing, and
yeah,
I guess they were simplifying the cluster. I don't know.
Okay.
They decided it wasn't worth a darn, and they put the lights back in them.
Okay. So right now, what we're chasing is getting power to the gauge cluster itself. So we're just doing a little bit of investigative on this. We wanted to show you steps that we're taking along the way. Something else that came in through the mail, which is a little bit of a diversion, is we have our spray bottle, our hoses, and our motor. So I thought I would start setting that up. I don't think we'll have it working quite yet today, but at least I can get all the parts in and get that off the parts shelf and get Marsha just one step closer to completion. All right, a couple things. Show you guys the part numbers. Hopefully that's visible. All right, that is for the bottle itself. This is going to be the hose kit. All your hoses. And this is your sprayer motor. And all of these are from year one. Year one is expanding their C-body offerings quite a bit. The bottle did come with hardware as well as a second grommet. This grommet also came with the pump, and I'll show you, I've already put the grommet in the bottle. So I'm just gonna feed the motor into the bottle. Pop this guy. Now the trick is having to thread this through here and tighten this guy down. It is not entirely easy, and we're going to end up using a long extension and a socket wrench. Use a ratchet to tighten that guy down. It's also your filter element, so hopefully you can see that. Shoot. Okay, so all it takes is a 13/16 deep well. Just hand crank it in. Again, it's got a rubber gasket, so you don't need to crank the snot out of it. You don't want to split that gasket. But now that I've got it cranked in, I'm going to fill it up with water in the sink, do a little drip test, make sure that we're all good. And if we pass our test, then we can mount it. Okay, factory spot was actually right here, very close to the battery. Not exactly where I'd want to put my washer reservoir, typically, especially considering that third screw is kind of tucked away. But factory is as factory does. We're going to put it where it's supposed to be. So, Marsha is not a perfect restoration by any means, as you can tell by this engine compartment, but there's no reason to reinvent the wheel every step of the way if you don't have to. And when it comes to washer, wiper motors, all that kind of accessory stuff, there's no reason to get cute and creative if you don't have to. Oh, nope. I see. Oh, I'm going to have to bend that bracket just to fit it, aren't I? Okay. Yeah, you need some. Oh, thankfully it's soft. Oh, hallelujah. Pretty malleable. Alright, that's appreciated. Let's see how lucky I can get here. Okay. hole seems a little hogged out. Okay, here we go. Nice and tight. Beautiful. All right, we got to plug in our washer bottle. Then this is our ground. So we'll just feed it in between here. Actually, we'll put it on our top one just to eat up some room. Maybe give this screw a little bit more to chew on. All right. Good. Let's get some rubber hoses on it. All right, so we were able to save our factory sprayers. To be honest, they were buried in the box of old parts, and I didn't think I had them, so I'm very glad that I kept them. The sprayers are not reproduced. These are a little finicky. I need to put a little bit of a welding wire to clean these up. Just open up the holes so that they'll spray evenly. This is our T intersection. The T intersection clips in right here. Then it's fed right there. A little bit of slack that runs to the bottle. Sprayer is attached to the front, or I should say the back of the hood. So once we attach these, we will be able to do a test on our sprayer, and we'll have one less thing to worry about. All right. Clips right in. This goes right there. Has a little fitting for it. And we are going to run these. Oh, come on. Doesn't matter how long your arms are, you're gonna run out with your C-body. Let's get in here a little close. Got my welding tip cleaners, my welding wire cleaners. Just gonna file these open. Make sure they're nice and unclogged. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a priority. This is not keeping us from getting the car on the road or anything like that. But it's the little details that make a build all that more impressive. This one is being uphill. Here we go. There it is. Okay. Runs alongside the cowling. Doesn't block any of the vents. That looks nice. Okay, I just loop a long zip tie through these because those little plastic clips are not big enough for the loom that I've got here. So I'm making my own. And I just tie these together. And I just snip them off on the inside. Haven't had any trouble with them since. Never been a problem for me. Oh yeah, it is. It's supposed to go right there. Not on the inner fenders, but on the hood. Let me pop these out. I'll put that where it's supposed to be. Oh, no wonder they didn't pop out. They're tight as can be. Alrighty. There's a wash bottle. What do you say we put some cleaner in there and see if it sprays? Right here on top of the battery, that's always great. So close. So close to not spilling. Tries to park, but I got nothing for sprayers. All right, sprayer switch is not happy. All right, I went ahead and put a self tapper in, little 3/8 self tapper. I also cleaned up the hole a little bit and tapped it out, drilled it out. The inner fenders are totally painted, so I wonder if we have a ground issue. We're gonna see. We'll throw the accessory on, we'll hit the button, we'll see what happens. Just because everything else seemed to work on our dash cluster, I think we just had a bad ground. So we'll check that right now. Okay, so Jim again to the rescue, stuck his hand in there. We realized we did not have the right connector that connected both the wiper switch and the washer switch, because when you hit the washer switch, it's supposed to activate the wipers. So he's gonna hit the button right now. You're gonna hear it. Hopefully you can see it. Let me zoom in. All right, you can see it's wet. Go ahead and give it a spray. There she goes. Do the other side. Hit it once again. There she goes. All right, we got wipers, or we got washers at least.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that's good. All right, we're in good shape. All right, guys, for Mopar Connection Magazine's 10th anniversary, we're dialing up the Wayback Machine with our retro ringer Mopar Connection 10th anniversary Mopar Connection shirt. This is a faithful recreation of the Direct Connection catalog t-shirt. We've recreated it for Mopar Connection Magazine's 10th anniversary. Your favorite digital online Mopar enthusiast magazine is 10 years old. We also got a huge restock of our most popular t-shirt, the What Does Mopar Mean to You? This has all the really fun definitions of Mopar as an acronym. This has been one of our best-selling t-shirts over the last few years, and we got a massive restock of this. So come over to moparconnectionmagazine.com/shop and check out our anniversary ringer shirt. And with every t-shirt, you're gonna get 2 free stickers. Okay, major update time. We have been making a lot of progress, a lot of little things coming together. We just finished up on the spray bottle. That was really cool. Jim has been working on the antique automobile radio. One of the smartest things he did was that he went to the website, printed out the massive instruction booklet. That has been a big help. We also, of course, have the factory manuals, which are helping out. And with that, we are now setting up to just loosely test fit a speaker, make sure that we got audio coming through. But the radio does light up and it does dim, which is great. Because it is digital, you turn the knobs and it won't do anything until you have power. And then once you do that, it clicks on very nicely and then it scrolls through. We also have a glove box light, which that was kind of cool. We didn't think I was going to have that. Again, we are just troubleshooting all the electrical.
Turn that off.
There you go, yeah. Glove box is now closed. The ashtray does light up as well. You can see our interior lights. Those are working. We're just draining the battery right now. I'll put a charger on it later. But right now the big task is making sure that the speaker works and that we have a radio. That way we can run wire. Obviously have the dashboard working, but then we can run wire all the way to the back seat. And when our dual voice speaker appears, which we're waiting for, I think we're about 4 or 5 days out, we can pull the back seat, change out the speaker, put that in. We'll already have the wiring for it, and then we'll be good to go with our nice new radio. With that, if we have everything working in the dashboard, that means I can put the Just Dash's dash pad back in, and with the dash pad in, we can permanently mount everything and actually put the carpet in. So that would be great. Again, we're gonna work all the way to Christmas, so we got a few more days ahead of us, but this is great. We're making huge progress.
Oh yeah, we'll have to hook up something to the wires. That was easy.
What's that? All right.
The sky is blue.
Huh.
And the grass is
Okay.
I don't know what the channel is.
Well, now I feel like I need to put the antenna on.
Oh, I forgot we didn't have it on.
Well, I can't afford Pink Floyd, so.
What?
I can't afford licensing Pink Floyd. Roger Waters is going to come after my house. Okay, speakers work. Hot dog.
I hate unplugging it because
Still trying to figure out how to plug this guy in. We literally have no place to put it. Okay, it's a little late on a Thursday night. I'm still chipping away on Marsha's wiring. We got about 14 feet of speaker, actually about 13 feet of speaker wire running from the radio, from the Antique Auto radio. They have a really nice, beautiful harness, and it's all labeled left and right front, left and right rear. And they even have an auxiliary cable for a amplifier if you want. I don't think I'll be rocking out that hard. I just typically don't. But the nice thing is I finally found a home for that stinking bulb. We were trying to figure out what that guy was for. We thought for a while it was a courtesy light, but that blue bulb just made me think it wasn't. So I was really battling with myself. Well, I found an open port for 12-volt ignition. And I realized, I said, hey, wait a minute. Even with the dashboard lights on, I still got a big blank space. I got a big dark spot right here. And what happens now is it comes on. You might not be able to see it, but it comes on when I give it ignition, when I have it fully cranked on. So what's going to happen is I'm going to turn the lights off. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the inside. Okay. As you can see, we have the lights out in the garage. The courtesy lights are on. This armrest isn't put away or isn't bolt on yet. Just give me a second. We're still running our speaker cables back that way. But here we go with the courtesy lights. I'm going to close this door as soon as I get my boot inside. Ugh. I'm not as flexible as I used to be. Okay, so what we can do here is, obviously, let's pretend we're in the dark. All right, ignition's on. We're obviously not cranking, but that bulb is now on right above our wiper switch and washer. But it's also lighting up our light switch. So now we turn our lights on, and this is what our dashboard's going to look like. You see how the radio lights up too? Really pretty, really nice green glow. So this is very, very cool. And we don't have a speaker hooked up, obviously, but you can see how our dashboard is now lit up with that ignited light, you know, with our 12-volt ignition. Our dashboard's all nice and clean. Now again, Redline Gaugeworks went through, made this was a clock, now it's a tack, and went through, changed our alternator from an ammeter to a regular alternator gauge. And we have beautiful lights here and a beautiful dash. And we can even turn on our hazards. And you can see the hazard indicator is clicking. Everything's working nice. Okay, and hey, we even have a glove box. So all of our lights are working really good. Okay, let's put here. And I'll show you what happens when we turn the ignition off. Okay, see what a difference it makes? Really turns off a lot of lights. Okay, so we are all set. Now, unfortunately, that dome light, that bulb right there, does not listen to the rheostat, but that's okay. I think that is helpful because you can access your lights, your windshield wipers, and you can see your tack. So anyway, I'm happy with that. Maybe that's not correct. You C-body guys can correct me, and I'm happy to learn what I did wrong. But for the time being, we're very happy with this, and I think we can put our dash pad on. So let's kill the power here, kill the lights here, and we can get back to work in the garage. For the few of you who haven't done carpet kits before, the big trick in saving yourself a lot of trouble is getting this guy open. If you can, the sun is even better, but just getting it to lay out for a day or two, it's gonna save you so much grief. Now I'm gonna tell you, I have had many a carpet kit, but the guys at ACC Mats, at Autumn Custom Carpets, ACC, Auto Custom Carpets, these guys are out of Alabama. They have been the greatest people to work with, and I really truly mean this. They work with a lot of major manufacturers. Year One is one of them. You guys do stuff with Year One, you're going to be working with ACC. ACC Carpets absolutely will do whatever you want them to do. If you want factory correct, they'll do factory correct. If you want extra insulation, they'll do extra insulation. You want it for whatever you got, they will work with you. Just get on the phone with them and talk to them. You're a big boy, you can get on the phone. You don't need to just do email, but get on the horn, talk to the guys at Auto Custom Carpets. I'm telling you, these guys produce the best carpet kits. I've got them in the Charger. I've had them in the Fury. I ruined the one in the Fury before, and that is my own stinking fault. And I begged them for another set, and this was a custom set because they don't do a lot of convertible Furies, convertible C bodies for that matter. And they gave me extra material to work with. I'm telling you, the guys at Auto Custom Carpets, I'm going to put all the contact information up. Auto Custom Carpets are the way to go. They don't spend $1 with me. They don't advertise. So this is just my honest opinion of working in this industry for so stinking long and working with so many different people. Oh, here we go. Here's a flyer. Yeah, Auto Custom Carpets. They even sent me a little extra a little extra surprise we're going to show you when everything's in. But I'm going to lay the carpet out to kind of relax and degas tonight. We won't be putting the carpet in for a couple days permanently, but I just want the wrinkles to lay out. These have been in a box for a while and they just need to lay out and relax. We've got our tar paper laid down. Of course, you also know that what was this stuff called? Lizard skin. We lizard skinned the floors. We've got flatline, sound deadening and heat mitigation up front. We got the tar paper, and then ACC, not only do they provide juke padding, you can see the juke padding, but it's also rubber lined. So this should be the quietest Fury convertible with a 500 horsepower 440 that I could think of. We're gonna let this sit. I'm gonna let it sit a little bit more than a day. I really want it to relax. The other thing is with a C body, I'm not gonna repeat our mistakes, and that was the seats. That the seat belts go in before the carpet. So this would be on the driver's side, and the seat belt comes up through here, and it actually just has a little mount attachment right there. And they do wiggle, they do kind of wibble wobble. But here, let me grab that one off you. It will tuck up. There is the bracket. It will be carpeted over. Right there. Let me pan down and show you. You take the seat belt, and this is a mistake I had to learn the hard way, unfortunately. So here is our, where's my seat belt? There it is, right there. Okay, so this guy sits pretty much right here, and so that way the seat belt comes out. You got to cut a slit in the seat belt itself. In the carpet itself, excuse me. Push this out instead of being in, and huzzah! There it is. I'm probably going to take a heat gun to it and soften it up. But that is the trick with a C-body carpet. I had made a terrible mistake last time, and I put the seat belts on the outside of the carpet instead of the inside. And now I'm paying for my mistakes by having to buy another carpet kit to do it right. See, these extra portions right here, if you can see it, this is for your convertible seat. Convertible seats are a little bit more narrow than a traditional bench seat in the back. And the ACC left some extra carpet so that it can tuck up and be nice around that back convertible seat. So this is good news. It's a huge win for what we're trying to accomplish here. Oh man, blue on blue on blue, ain't it? Lots of blue. Factory carpets really just laid in the car. They didn't glue them down, they didn't have any specific stitching or anything like that. They really just kind of let it lay. Now I don't have a steam gun or a steamer. I do have heat guns, but I'd really prefer not to use heat guns. But for right now, I think just relaxing on its own for a little bit is going to be the best medicine. All right, it's another day here in the garage. It's actually kind of nice. It's not super cold. We are hoping to tie up the interior today. And there's still things that need to be touched up. There's still things that need to be corrected. But this isn't going to hold us up from actually getting the interior together. The biggest thing when it comes to installing a carpet kit, and I might have left this out in previous clips, and I apologize for that, is work from the center out. Now, in our case with the Fury, bench seat, column shift car. There's no center console, there's no floor shift. In many, many cases, if you are a floor shift car, start there. Start with either your automatic shifter, start with your stick shift, tighten down and weigh down the carpet from the transmission tunnel and work your way out. If you're going to use 3M or a spray adhesive, this is where you want to get all of this kind of, you see how we got a little bit of a hump here? This hump is going to be covered up by our bench seat. But what we do have is our seatbelt mounts. So what we're going to do is that we're going to use the seatbelt mounts as kind of our starting point. We did already trim around the footwells. This is to allow the front piece to tuck up as high as we could. So now that we have our positioning really well, we got our back seat in so that we know where the back half of the carpet kit goes, we can now start laying down or smoothing down the carpet from our transmission tunnel, or in this case, the seatbelt mounts. So we're gonna start there, and we're gonna use, I always like to burn the carpet or melt the carpet because it fuses that hole. It keeps it from spreading. All right, otherwise it's just gonna keep unraveling. So you're gonna wanna burn it. Guys who cut it, they'll find that it continues to fray, and you'll find long strips of the carpet looming, and it'll just unwind. So in this case, you wanna get either a soldering iron. I've seen other guys get a torch with a screwdriver and poke a screwdriver through there. I don't care how you do it, but I like using a soldering iron because it's controlled. But we're gonna work from there, and then we're gonna lay the carpet and smooth the carpet out. I'm not going to trim our door sills until the very, very end. And the reason for that is I wanna have the seats in, I wanna have the seats mounted, because again, I'm putting pressure and I'm working those wrinkles all the way out. If I trim, I might trim too deep. I might make a mistake. I might be uneven. So I don't want to trim the door sills until the very, very end. I want to work those wrinkles out. I want to work those high spots out by using weight and by using locating points. And that's going to be your seat belts. That's going to be your seat mounts. And once those are done and everything's in place, you can really get the last bit of stretch out of it, and you get the last bit of slack and wrinkles out of it. All right, so let's start with that. Admittedly, getting this seat belt, putting the retractor in, putting that plate in, and getting this through took me at least an hour. And it was so frustrating, I couldn't record it. It was not easy at all. It was quite the chore. I'm gonna vacuum this out, but this side is done. I do not like that it is showing a little right there. My OCD is kicking in. But besides a little bit of cleaning, this looks really nice. So we just need to continue on. The driver's side is next. I presume it'll take me, hopefully, less than an hour, considering. Oh, I still haven't screwed that down. I need to tighten that up. Okay. But that's all in there. The top is screwed in, the bottom is not. I need to screw that bottom in. Okay, we do have a few little bumps. These will hopefully relax, especially over time in the sun. But for the most part, I'm pretty satisfied. Obviously, I need to polish this, clean it up. I got discoloring. I got some rust. I've got some stuff that can be addressed. But again, we're just doing assembly here with the full interior. There's the panel that needs to go on. Okay, well, onward and upward. And the last piece to go in, this was a nice little treat from the guys at ACC and from year one. Holy cow, that is a big mat. Holy cow. It just barely fits. Oh, my goodness. All right. With that, we have a finished interior. Let's take a look around. We got floor mats. I'm just stuck a little high. Darn it. All right. We got ourselves a complete interior. Seat belts, complete dashboard,
We haven't put the wiper arms back on yet. We need to get new blades, and I wasn't going to put those on in case I accidentally hit the switch and scratch the heck out of my windshield. But you can see a few items have been touched up with blue paint, but we got quite a few different hues of blue going on. We're going to have to do a big uniform re-dye and touch up on a lot of these old components just so that they look uniform. But all that being said, we got ourselves a pretty nice complete interior. Massive thanks to the guys at Just Dashes. Jason and his team at Just Dashes absolutely perfected that dashboard. We've been sitting on it for almost a year. Very glad to see the finished result. Redline Gauge Works went through, did our tachometer and our gauge cluster, and nobody does it better than Redline. You guys, honestly, you got to give Redline a call. They are just phenomenal. Then, of course, ACC Carpets, Auto Custom Carpets. They also did the floor mats as well, so big thanks to those guys. Then, of course, we've got Vintage Air all tucked up super nice underneath the dashboard. That looks so good. Big thanks to the guys at Vintage Air letting us make our own 3D printed cover. That instrument cover right there will be available. We're going to give that to Vintage Air, so if you guys want to replicate that, that is entirely available to them. They'll probably do a nicer job than this. That's my paint pen markings. I could probably do a better job touching that up. And then we got to give a huge shout out to Antique Auto Radio. Antique Auto Radio. We even have their speaker up front. We're going to go into further programming, further depth on programming and getting the Bluetooth to work. But really wanted to show that it lights up, it is programmable, great sound coming out of it, fits. We did 3D print our own C-body faceplate. They have, this is their E-body. Their E-body, their B-bodies are flawless. Their E-bodies are flawless. Even their A-bodies are beautiful as well. This is the first time that it's been used in a C-body, and we did create this faceplate. We also are giving them the 3D file for that. So they might have a nicer version later, or they might just offer this. But this is part of the arrangement that we had made with Antique Auto Radio. So this is something really cool. Fast did provide us that AFR gauge. It's not fully dialed in yet. It's not totally working. That's okay. But we will have that coming up soon. But huge thanks to everyone involved in making Marsha's interior what it is today. And that includes Jim Hannon. Tinos and Jim made this project possible. Without them, this would probably take me another 4 months. Just because of my responsibilities with the magazine. I have to produce weekly content for the YouTube channel, and being able to dedicate the time and effort on this car, I needed Jim and Tinos' help. So massive thanks to those guys. I kind of want to clean the windshield, hook up the battery, maybe go for a ride. What do you say?
car, Marsha. That heater feels good. Oh yeah. All right, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up this episode of Mopar Connection Magazine's total thrashing build of Project Marsha. Marsha isn't done, but we've crossed the Rubicon. We've done everything we wanted to do. We've got the car straight as an arrow. We've got the car painted. Big thanks to Dave Chamberlain at All Classics Restorations. Guys, subscribe to his YouTube channel. Give Dave a call. You want him to do your paint and body work. Listen to me. Dave did this car. Dave's done a bunch of cars that we know of, that we've been involved in. Dave is a master. Dave is an absolute master. So step one was getting this car straight. Step two was building an engine and transmission and rear end that we wanted to be excited about. And that started with an Eaton True Track. We went with the 323 gears just on a 489 case. Nothing too extravagant. We didn't change the axles. We didn't even change the brakes. That's right, it's four-wheel drum brakes. Next, we got Jim Hannon to help us out with the 727 Torque Flight. We used a TCI Street Fighter kit. It was their very entry. In fact, it's their Saturday night special. It's a very mild torque converter. It's a very mild shift kit, but you can feel this thing kick on. It has a great downshift. Everything about that transmission is primo. TCI has been around for a very long time and for a good reason. Then, of course, we built our 440. Big thanks to the guys at Tommy's Auto and Machine for letting us play on the dyno. We've got an Edelbrock E Street top end. We are running the RPM Performer that we got through Mancini Racing. This is their black version. We're running the 83cc E, the Edelbrock E Street head. It's a very mild head. It's not a high compression head. It's probably about 10 and a half to 1. Actually, I think we figured around 10.42. So very mild compression, very pump gas friendly. We're running a comp cam, hydraulic roller comp cam, factory rods, factory crank, with a flat top piston, nothing too wild. Factory pickup, factory oil pump, really nothing too bananas. But we did make 505 horsepower and 536 pound-feet of torque. Pretty happy with that. This Gold Girl needs all the torque we can get. We are running the Schumacher motor mounts as well as the Schumacher Tri-5 headers. Great stuff. And we're using Flowmaster's American Thunder Build Your Own series with a 2.5-inch tube. But I got to tell you, we're running their 70 series mufflers, the Flowmaster 70 series mufflers. The car is quiet, it cruises, it just has a nice burble, but when you stand on it, sounds like a hot rod. We love them. Never in a million years would we have thought of the 70 series. It's what they use in a lot of Cummins towing trucks, but the 70 series is basically a 50 with a resonator built into it. We told you all about that, and we used the guys over at Hendersonville Muffler to help us out with that. Huge thanks to those guys. We topped off the motor with a set of finned Edelbrock valve covers. Really nice. Cast valve covers are pretty cool. And then of course we ran the electric choke AVS2 800 CFM carburetor from Edelbrock. It's pretty much a lot of Edelbrock, a lot of comp cams in that motor. So comp has been around since the early 50s. Edelbrock's the biggest name in high performance for hot rods and muscle cars. Go with the names you trust. I went with those guys. Big thanks to the dudes at Firmfeel. Firmfeel hooked us up with the upper control arms as well as their rebuild kit. We do have a Firmfeel sway bar we're going to be installing a little bit later, so look out for that. And big thanks to the guys at Year One. Year One came through with all of our emblems, and in fact those emblems are now for sale at Year One. We've been really grateful to be working with the guys at Year One, and quite frankly Year One has been building their C-body catalog off of Marsha as well as some other cars. But we got to thank the guys at Year One. Year One has been phenomenal. And also, I can't say it enough, ACC Carpets. ACC Carpets has been a total treat to work with. Again, they didn't have a convertible C-body kit until we started working together. So we're just over the moon with ACC Carpets. The embroidered mats are beautiful and totally throw bling at the car. We gotta thank the guys, the whole team at Antique Auto Radio. They kind of took a chance with us with the C-bodies. They turned us down initially. We begged and pleaded. We're like, hey, we really think this will be a great idea. And they came through in shining colors. And that radio is just phenomenal. I still haven't figured out the Bluetooth thing, and that's just me being a neophyte when it comes to technology. But there's voice command on that radio. There's Bluetooth on that radio. We're gonna go into way in depth on the radio in a separate video, but we wanted to thank those guys. Then of course, massive thanks to Rick Love and the team at Vintage Air. Vintage Air did not have a C-body kit as well. Those guys took a chance on us as well and basically gave us whatever we wanted from their builder series. They have a hot rod builder series, so if you're building a total custom car, they will hook you up and they will get you whatever product and parts and pieces and elbows and fittings that you need. And that's pretty much what we had to do here with the C-body. We reported with all of our notes. We gave them everything we could, including the 3D printed C-body control panel. Everything that we did, they have. So that's something really cool as well. Gosh, who else do we think? We think that we got to thank the guys at Legendary. Legendary Auto Interiors came through on making something that had been, quite frankly, off the books for a while, and that was the convertible top boot. That blue boot actually was out of print, that was out of manufacturing. They were out of stock on that, and they kind of did us a solid. I'm pretty sure they'll happily sell you one. You just got to beg and plead and grovel on your hands and knees, but they'll take your money. All right, so we've thanked a ton of people. I know there's way more people to thank, and if I left you out, I'm really, really sorry. But we are absolutely stoked with everyone who's been involved with this C-body project. Guys, if you want more Marsha content, you gotta tell us in the comments. If you want more Marsha content and more Marsha videos, let us know. This car has been a labor of love. I still have lots of things that my perfectionist mind says I have to do. I'm driving down to Coker Tire. I'm putting some 15x8s on this thing, Steel's 15x8s. I'm still gonna run those super old school pie tin covers, but we're running some vintage tire. We're vintage looking tire. We're gonna run some 15x8. So from the side, it's gonna look the same way, but from the front and the back, it's gonna have some nice tire underneath it. I'm pretty excited about that. And of course, we're taking this car on power tour. So you'll see more of this big blue C-body, but if you guys wanna see more performance stuff, like doing the sway bar, like doing alignment, like doing the tires, maybe going around some cones, we're happy to do it. I think this car's got legs. I think this project is the greatest possible project for a lot of you guys who are looking for a car that maybe it's your first time around, maybe it's your first go. A C-body really is a good candidate. I really do mean it. And no one's seen a lot of C-body stuff. I mean, Mopar Action, Mopar Muscle, you just don't see a lot of C-body stuff. We took a chance on this guy, and Marsha has paid off in dividends. She's fought us at every step of the way. Holy crap, she fought us. But I think it's well worth it. I love this car. I think it's a riot. I just am over the moon with this car. I think it's a riot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. All right, as the sun goes down, I wanted to thank all you guys for sticking to the end and watching this incredibly long episode of the Mopar Connection Magazine YouTube channel. If you enjoyed it, why don't you leave a like, leave a comment, share it with your friends, help us grow the channel. That'd be awesome. If you haven't already, why don't you hit the subscribe button? It doesn't cost you anything, and it really does help us out, and it does tell YouTube that people like us and they want to see more of our content. So that would be awesome if you could hit that subscribe button. Okay. If you want more awesome Mopar content, not just the videos, go over to www.moparconnectionmagazine.com, where new articles are written and published every single day, Monday through Friday, entirely subscription free to you. We're all former magazine guys. This is what we've done for years, and we are producing the same quality magazine content that you've been used to for years, now online, entirely free to you. So if you don't want to pay subscriptions, if you don't want to wait for the mail, but if you want new awesome articles every single day, Monday through Friday, go over to moparconnectionmagazine.com. Until the next video, we'll see you at the magazine.